is on my side. Jesus, he walks with me.
Get back to the business. I feel the spirit moving through the city. I got the light shining, come get it. Walking with Christ, moving where it's gritty. Walking with Christ, moving where it's gritty. I feel the spirit moving through the city. I see the people trying to bring them with me. We got a light, tell them come and get it. Yeah. Walk, 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 walk. I walk, 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 walk. We walk. Whoa, I was chasing my glory, then fell asleep. Woke me up and told me to go feed the sheep. Sent me deep in the streets just to bring them peace. Yeah, we be where them blickies be bustin', where they enjoy life with no discussion. But as soon as they see the light rushing, they know that the Lord walking with us, no bluffing. People say that I'm fake, I'm like, okay. Do you walk in the light or you throw shade? One more sex on my skin, I got no shame. We was preaching about Jesus before fame. Get it? Did that. On my side, yeah, he been that. That's the devil where my sins at. On the cross, cause he pinned that. Big throne where he sits at. Death hit him, then he hit back. Resurrected, yeah, that's big facts. Told us hold it down till he get back. Get back to the business. I feel the spirit moving through the city. I got the light shining, come get it. Walking with Christ, moving where it's gritty. Walking with Christ, moving where it's gritty. I feel the spirit moving through the city. I see the people trying to bring them with me. We got a light, tell them come and get it. Yeah, walk with me. Step in the scene with the fly, had to keep it so steady, don't fall for the fox. Had to cut out the session, he got in the crop. Hold up, spiritual weapons when miracles happen. I'm never surprised cause it got. Ain't serving no Hannah Montana, ain't switching my banner like David, we slinging the rock. We kicking this beating, why serve Yeshua, even if it mean I'm bleeding. Come kill my flesh, my soul still breathing. Speak through me, yeah, yeah. This heart keep beating, these lungs keep singing. Come and step into the kingdom, for the ones mistreated. To the day we see them, this feel like the moment we seeking. The day we can sing up the water, get freedom to walk. Walk, 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 walk. I walk, 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 walk. We walk, get back to the business. I feel the spirit moving through the city. I got the light shining, come get it. Walking with Christ, moving where it's gritty. Walking with Christ, moving where it's gritty. I feel the spirit moving through the city. I see the people trying to bring them with me. We got a light, tell them come and get it. Yeah. We walk.
Why they hating on me? Cause I'm sober. I went viral when I said I don't drink, I don't cuss, I don't smoke. And everybody came and tried to roast. Then there's love in the comments when these rappers talking murder and they post. Y'all about to make me do the most. Staying sober low key for like a hood crime. I don't gotta roll the weed to have a good time. I don't just preachers on a Sunday, bruh, full time. Getting lit and I ain't took a drink the whole time. Hey, I'm not gon' turn it down. Mess around and do a altar call or rolling loud. Go to state, no debate, I'ma go to town. We had to throw our own festival to hold it down. BET, MTV, give me mic, let me speak. I'ma walk what I preach, I'm a boss in these streets. And your talking is cheap, don't get tossed in it deep and start rocking with me. What you talking last week? Sober, 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 sober. Really about to take this thing over. Really about to make the game over. Sober, 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 sober. Really about to take this thing over. Really about to make the game over. Yeah. Oh, I hear the chatter. First verse made a matter, let's go make a matter. Play the song in the club, the face gon' scatter. Real recognize real, so it just don't matter. Bought a house in the hood where I grew up, in the same neighborhood that I threw up. I was in a party bathroom when I threw up. Thought God didn't want nothing to do with a screw up. Now I'm the guy you wish you could've been, but it's not too late for you to get up and do good again. More the vision made it plain and brought back to the hood again. It's showing all my partners what it isn't what it should've been. I'm high off this life that I'm living, glowing. One shot at life and you cannot reload it. I'm blowing up like detonation, exploding. I can't win these Grammys off Henny and blow it. I'm sober, 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 sober. Really about to take this thing over. Really about to make the game over. Sober, 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 sober. Really about to take this thing over. Really about to make the game over. Why they hating on me? Cause I'm sober. See they hating on me? Cause I'm sober. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ayy, Bruce Hills, but I'm stumping on the serpent. Faith in motion, so you know I'm steady working. Covered by the bloody, got me cleaner than detergent. Gave me purpose in my life when I was feeling hella worthless. I'm for certain what I face will bring me better. Stay persistent, never let up. Show your faithful link and see another level. I'm gentle, but I'm clever, and I can handle whatever. No time to fight with the devil. Flesh do whatever I let him. Nevertheless, I keep it Gito. I live it by the scripture. Your opinion is getting vetoed. I'm testing every spirit. Who you kidding? Don't play with me, bro. Don't need a mention. Only your attention. That tunnel vision got me focused for real. They make music for the masses. They just want the appeal. Running back, you don't hear nothing to heal. It's not for something to shift. I see the kingdom and it's very in hand, but people sleep on prophecy and Satan's various plans. COVID got us going rampant. They promoting different standards. Food is low in every store. They stimulate us with a package. We ain't tripping, we just grab it. But they teaching us dependence. If a job is not existing, we depend on it for living. If this place get any worse, we gon' take whatever they giving. The law I'm matching the scripture. I'm hoping you see the picture. I'm focused in my position. I notice they want us broken, accepting the newer system. We gotta wake up the remnant.
You hear that boom, 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 yeah, boom, 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 ayy. God on my side, I don't mess with no Lucy. This on my tracks like I'm Uzi. Me and my team never losing. I got my guy with the streets is a jacuzzi. Ayy, hop on the scene. They put some pricing to me, it's to me. How we a Christian but looking unclean? How we a rapper if you don't get bling?
Hey y'all, Arson Darksea here. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm doing fine. So this will probably be one of the craziest sounding videos I've ever made, but I felt led to make it for quite some time now. And the more satanic crap I witness in this evil world, the more I see this nauseating prediction on its way to fruition. This is a video about the increasing lack of compassion for human life, which is leading up to a televised child sacrifice that the majority of society will ignore, because we have been indoctrinated through programming created by high-ranking Luciferians who wish to condition us through their covertly sadistic creations. Weeks ago, during that disgusting Sam Smith performance,
Loser.
there were many comments that I saw of people saying that they could sacrifice a child on stage and no one would do anything about it. They could maybe just say it's an animatronic child or whatever excuse, and people would buy it. And I see that coming and then some. But before we get into that, very quickly, I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone who's prayed for me and donated to help support me in my work. These documentaries and videos take a lot of time and money to produce, and I couldn't do it without you. If you would like to donate to help us further, the links to donate are in the description as well as the pinned comment. And please subscribe to all of our channels. I just made a new channel which only has 30 subscribers right now. So please do make sure to subscribe to all of our channels so we can keep in touch. If this channel, or I should say when this channel, is no longer around, hopefully one of the channels that are in the description or the pinned comment will be active. So again, all of our links, including our channels and the links to donate, are in the description as well as the pinned comment. Thank you all again for everything you've done for me. Please keep me in your prayers. I plead the blood of Jesus Christ over all viewers, and I plead the blood of Jesus Christ over their eye gates, ear gates, and skin gates. I plead the blood of Jesus Christ over all of the viewers' electronics, as well as all frequencies affecting them in the name of Jesus Christ. Heavenly Father, bless all viewers and subscribers, and give them the eyes to see and ears to hear, and lead them all to salvation in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I can't count all of the times I was watching television as a child and saw heavy, gruesome topics handled like light, stupid jokes. The life of a character amounting to nothing, all for the sake of a punchline. I figured I was being too sensitive, and since this was being presented as a joke, I should just get over it and laugh too. Sometimes taking things lightly for the sake of comedy is a good thing, but there are some times in films where the person behind the idea or behind the publication of certain ideas has ulterior motives. Motives to indoctrinate you, motives to desensitize you to particular upcoming beliefs or agendas, or events, otherwise known as predictive programming. Predictive programming is basically when someone in a secret society, think of Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons for example, knows the upcoming false flags and general events planned for Earth's future. In order to get society to accept these agendas and not push back too much against the government, they use mainstream media to desensitize us to what's coming up in our future. One of the best and most well-known example is how many elites forced Twin Tower imagery into television shows, movies, and commercials prior to September 2001. After the September attacks, which has been proven countless times to be an inside job by the way, we can look back and see how obvious it was that this false flag was coming. Now, as of April 2023, we can predict many other false flags and agendas on the horizon just by noticing patterns forced into mainstream media. Some of these upcoming events are the breaking of the Hoover Dam,
Everybody off! Hurry up! Stand behind the barriers!
New York being destroyed by a tsunami and left submerged underwater,
Wall of water coming towards New York City! Everybody!
California being hit by earthquakes and tsunamis and left submerged as well, the rapture being covered up by aliens, which will either be real demons and/or Project Bluebeam, and many, many more.
In 2025, God takes 90 million people to heaven, chaos reigns in the world, and a new charismatic leader of the United Nations begins to gain popularity. The question is, who is he, the new Jesus or the Antichrist?
While the president insists that the greatest threat to our country is those clinging to the conspiracy theory that somehow God had something to do with the vanishings.
It's been 6 months since tens of millions of people suddenly disappeared. And as far as we're concerned, none of them have been seen since.
So they hid from the truth mostly, dreaming up any answer they could think of, as long as it didn't involve God, of course. Solar flares, secret weapons, little green men. Nothing was too crazy for a world determined not to see the truth.
Today I want to talk about a few pieces of film with predictive programming that stands out to me, some of which have stood out to me since I was a child, long before I was really awake. I want to point out and discuss the increasing lack of compassion for human life seen in these movies and shows, how it has rubbed off on society, and the deeper, darker meaning behind these seemingly harmless plot points, which has led to the changing of laws worldwide that I believe, and have believed for some years now, will result in a live television broadcast documenting the sacrifice of a human being, more particularly a newborn child. I believe there will be a golden excuse used to justify the crime. Probably something to do with our carbon footprint, or how abortion is considered humane up until a person is 3 months old or something ridiculous like that. And no, I'm not reaching. I've just paid close attention to what the elites have been pushing for a while now. I've seen them try to blame you-know-what-ophilia on climate change, so I wouldn't be surprised if saving the climate is eventually seen as being more important than preserving the life of a newborn child. I've also seen them try and change the law so that you can legally have an abortion up to a month or so after your child is born. Yeah, that's right. Apparently, taking the life of somebody who was born 3 weeks ago isn't considered murder anymore. Or it won't be considered murder here in the next few weeks, months, or years, whenever that law will be passed. That law that they try to pretend is just fake news and misinformation, but we all know what they're trying to do, and you have to be blind not to see it. That law will allow even more of these Luciferians and their secret lifestyles out into the open. That's what they want, after all, to practice every wicked, sinful act out in public without anybody standing against them. Most of us already know that these creeps breed their child sacrifices underground, and with this new law passed, these creeps can now proudly breed children in public and abuse them as much as they want and murder them up until the child is about a month old. We'll see regular sinners who might have otherwise gotten an abortion decide to murder their children after birth to spare themselves the expensive abortion fee or the possibility of their child finding them and wanting a relationship with them as an adult if they were given up for adoption instead. Knowing how evil many women are today, I'm sure some of them will murder their newborn just for the thrill of it. We would also see living, breathing children thrown into dumpsters, kind of like how you see that done in India and some other countries. And when found alive by so-called medical professionals, the children would be taken to the hospital and murdered there, likely with their body parts used for other purposes. It would be an absolute nightmare. You may feel relief knowing that this law hasn't passed yet, but there are certain rules and laws that have changed already and is continuing to change worldwide. It hasn't had much publicity yet, but I've seen it coming through certain television shows and movies showing us how anyone will be able to take their own life publicly and may even be expected to take their own life by an age that the government has decided upon. Imagine knowing that by the time you hit your 60th birthday, you don't hit some early retirement. No, you're expected to off yourself or else Big Brother will do it for you. Unfortunately, in a society like this, where suicide is legal and so easily attainable, most people won't even make it into adulthood to begin with.
What princess are you today?
Cinderella.
You're Cinderella.
Juliana Snow has a neuromuscular disease that's slowly taking her life. She can't walk or breathe on her own or even use her hands to play with glitter.
There's no such thing as too much.
There's no such thing as too much, okay?
The next time Juliana gets a cold or any infection, her body will be too weak to fight it off.
What do the doctors tell you is likely to happen if she were to get another cold?
She will most likely die if she gets another cold. You okay?
Juliana's doctors presented her parents, Steve Snow and Michelle Moon, with two devastating options. Juliana could die at home in her pink princess room, made comfortable, surrounded by family. Or she could go to the hospital, where treatment likely couldn't save her, or even if it did, she would likely have a terrible quality of life.
Everyone told us there is no right answer.
So Michelle and Steve asked Juliana something almost no parent could even fathom. When she was just 4 years old, they asked her what she wanted to do, go to the hospital or go to heaven.
You blogged about it.
Yes.
So let's take a look.
Okay, so me. Juliana, if you get sick again, do you want to go to the hospital or stay home? Juliana, not the hospital. Me. Even if that means you will go to heaven if you stay home? Juliana, yes. Me. And you know that mommy and daddy won't come with you right away. You'll go by yourself first. Juliana, don't worry, God will take care of me. Me. And if you go to the hospital, it may help you get better and let you come home again and spend more time with us. I need to make sure you understand that. Hospital may let you have more time with mommy and daddy. Juliana, I understand.
Juliana told her parents she hated the hospital, especially a procedure called nasotracheal suctioning.
So basically you stick a tube on a suction machine, and you stick it up the nose, down past the tongue, back into the throat, as deep as you can go, and you start suctioning. If given the choice of me or one of the other respiratory techs, she would usually ask for me to do it.
Was that hard to do?
Yeah.
Could you watch her go through that again, do you think?
If I had to, I'd do it.
Would it save her life to do it again if she were to get an infection?
I don't think so.
Michelle and Steve say when the time comes, they'll honor their daughter's wishes to die at home and go to heaven over the hospital.
Some parents wouldn't have consulted a child so young. They would have said, we're the parents. So you asked your daughter at the age of 4, what do you think? What should we do?
Juliana had to go through hundreds of rounds of nasotracheal suctioning. She knows exactly what that was. She was awake for every single one. She knows what that is. So I think she has a right. I think she has a say.
Juliana's doctors told CNN she's an exceptionally wise 5-year-old, and they support her parents' decision to carry out her wishes. For now, Juliana's enjoying her life with her parents, her big brother Alex, and her princesses.
Are Elsa and Anna, I forget, are they cousins or?
They're sisters.
Oh, they're sisters.
It's Anna.
Oh, it's Anna. I said Anna. It's
Yes.
Anna. I'm sorry.
She forgives you.
What are your realistic hopes for her for the rest of the time that she does have left?
Be comfortable, be happy, feel loved.
What's gotten you through it?
Faith.
Whoever you may pray with, wherever you may be, I can guarantee for certain God listens to you and me.
Faith that she will be in a better place when her time comes, and we can go join her someday, and this will all pass away.
What do you want people to remember about Juliana?
Her heart. She is just so much love. Just so much love.
And we know that children of all ages will be able to have a doctor euthanize them without their parents' permission, because we've already seen that pushed with the injectable sewer sludge during the pandemic in schools and whatnot. Yes, in case you didn't know, as soon as the vaccine, as John Laura calls it, was available, the government started pushing for little children to be able to choose whether or not they could have a medical procedure without their parents' permission. At the same time, until this day, we have the government pushing to allow little children to have all kinds of other types of procedures, if you catch my drift.
The reaction when people hear that we have 2 trans kids is pretty shock and awe.
Anyone can be whoever they want, and it doesn't matter what your opinion is.
We're not gonna allow our kids to feel shame. When James was 8 years old, he asked to transition. He got to use he and him for pronouns. He then, this past year, changed his name legally and his gender markers legally. He just now, a month ago, started hormone blockers. It's an implant. It is to prevent his puberty. It will prevent a menstruation cycle and breast development.
Can you show me what the blocker looks like that's implanted? First show me in your arm. Where is it?
It's right there.
Right there? Can I feel it?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the sample look like that you have?
It looks like this.
And he is counting down the days until he can start testosterone. It would affect fertility.
If you use a blocker and go on to testosterone, your eggs would never mature.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to go through female puberty for that, which is something you could do.
Olivia said she was transgender from the age of 4 until 5, and we allowed her to wear whatever she wanted, but she didn't socially transition until she was 5 years old and entering kindergarten. I would say that it was less shocking because we had just had a child transition and we had just educated ourselves about gender. A lot of people think that it must be a copycat situation where the younger one's just mimicking the older one, thinking that the older one's getting some kind of praise or feedback and they want the same attention, which makes sense.
He helped me by making me confident because
You didn't know
No,
I was...
you're like my first supporter, so it made me very confident that I would have many more.
Luckily with Olivia, she's so young. She's only 7. The first thing would be a hormone blocker, and that's not until she would hit stage 2 of puberty. As of right now, we just follow her lead.
So it's not hard to see that once this assisted suicide is fully in swing, children of all ages will be able to take part without their parents having a clue. Well, the parents won't find out till it's too late, which is tragic. Around this time will probably be when you-know-what-ophilia is legalized, since nearly all of society would have already subconsciously agreed that children of all ages can consent to anything, since they already can apparently consent to splicing their DNA through CRISPR technology, permanently augmenting their bodies surgically, and even go as far as consenting to taking their own lives. What's stopping them from consenting to relations with adults as well at this point, right? At the same time, or shortly after this, I'm sure it will finally be legal to murder your newborn for whichever reason is most fitting for the government. And I'm sure around this time, there will be the televised child sacrifice because all forms of life would have lost all of its value to nearly all of society. Satan will know there will be little to no pushback, so he'll go all in. My first glimpse of this was in the show Futurama, with Bender in the suicide booth. I know I must have been around 7 years old when I first watched that episode, and I remember feeling conflicted. I knew this was supposed to be something to laugh at, but it was such a dark subject, and as a child with a huge imagination, what you watch on TV feels more real to you than when you're an adult, so I couldn't help but think deeply on this clip and how awful it would be if it was real. Like many of us do when faced with something on TV that makes us feel uncomfortable, I ended my thinking with a shrug and a, well, good thing it's just TV and it isn't real. Little did we know that nearly every futuristic thing that made us uncomfortable on TV was actually real and awaiting us in our future.
Hey, a phone booth. I can call my nephew. Whoa, a real live robot. Or is that some kind of cheesy New Year's costume?
Bite my shiny metal.
It doesn't look so shiny to me.
Shinier than yours, meatbag. Listen, buddy, I'm in a hurry here. Let's try for a twofer.
Please select mode of death, quick and painless, or slow and horrible.
Yeah, I'd like to place a collect call.
You have selected slow and horrible.
Good choice. Bring it on, baby! Come on! Kill me already! By the way, my name's Bender.
Help! What's happening?
You are now dead. Thank you for using Stop and Drop, America's favorite suicide booth since 2008.
Lousy, stinking ripoff.
The next film I saw when I was around 15, which really stuck with me, is called How to Die in Oregon. It's a disturbing documentary about the first state in America to allow assisted suicide. I remember this documentary blowing my mind because I'd never heard of such a thing, and was shocked to hear about it in a random movie I decided to watch, instead of hearing about it in some big announcement on the news or something. The title, and the woman's extended belly, and the cloudy drink of death were burned into my memory, as if a part of me knew that it had to hold on to this information for important future conversations.
In November of '07, I had a terrible stomachache.
The cancer was back and we didn't have any really good options for her.
I opened my eyes really wide and said, what is happening to me?
This is the request for medication to end my life in a humane and dignified manner. What will this medication do?
It will kill me and make me happy.
Dignity means you can hold your head up high, and I don't see how anybody can take their life and hold their head up high.
I'm actually going to take a pen and write a prescription for something that will end someone's life.
With Death with Dignity, it gives me a chance to think about how I want to leave things with them at the end.
Cody's choice is her pride in herself and her pride in us and our pride in her.
I'll know when my life isn't worth living anymore. In which case, that choice will seem easy and obvious. And I'll be grateful. T said, I know you're struggling, but if you aren't struggling for you, would you struggle for me? And of course I would if they thought there were a real chance, but there's not. Uh-oh.
Thank you. Big tea.
It still feels kind of like you give up when you don't try everything out there. But I still think it's the rational and I think the right thing to do to not try and seek every option, because 95% she's only going to gain 2 or 3 months. That's a lot of extra pain. and a lot of extra cost.
This is not a good idea. Whose idea was this?
I know it's hard for them, but they're great.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I know they'll be fine. I've written them letters, so I'm thinking about... That's the other wonderful thing about this Death with Dignity. It gives me a chance to think about how I want to leave things with them at the end. The images. Sorry.
1 month we had $100 in long distance.
There are moments where she is so ready to go. She doesn't like being sick. And then there are the days when she's, you know, healthy and grateful to be alive.
I'm not gonna die with the fluid oozing out of my pores in my legs. I'm not gonna weigh 200 pounds again. I'm not gonna lose my hair again. I am not gonna be humiliated with losing control of my bodily functions again. This will be tidy and, while not easy for my family, it's a lot better than the alternatives.
She says it'll be easy, but I think it'll be hard for us when she does, you know, take the drink and the final rest, really. But I plan to be there.
My name's Randy Stroop. I'm 54 years old. I have 2 boys, got 4 granddaughters and 1 grandson. And my mother, I was living here taking care of her, but now she's been put in an assisted living home. Next thing I know, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer in December 19th, 2006. A year ago Christmas, they gave me 2 to 4 months to live. So as far as I know, prognosis is today or tomorrow. After the first chemotherapy failed, my doctor decided he wanted to try a stronger chemotherapy, while the Oregon Health Plan decided that as long as it didn't increase my life for 5 years, then they didn't want to pay for it. Mid-September, I received a letter from the Oregon Health Plan. It said in the letter they would do anything for comfort and palliative care, including a doctor-assisted suicide. Dear Randy Stroop, Dr. Michael Monticelli submitted a request for authorization dated March 26, 2008 for Lane, Oregon Health Plan to pay for cancer treatment for you. Unfortunately, we are unable to approve that request. Your condition at this stage meets criteria for comfort and palliative care. Comfort and palliative care may include physician aid in dying under Oregon death with dignity. Yeah, they don't care. It still just appalls me. No man has got the right to offer money to have somebody else killed. Now, I'm a man of simple methods, and the person that wrote this letter needs to be put in prison for the rest of his life. I do prison time for a lot less than this. To think that they could even start to put a price tag on my life or send me a letter saying they'll pay to kill me, but they won't pay to help me. Dignity means to me that you can hold your head up high. And I don't see how anybody can take their life and hold their head up high while doing it.
I want to talk about the movie How to Die in Oregon. So, I'm going to talk about how I got introduced to this movie. So, one time, I was with my friend, and I told my friend, hey, when I'm 50, I want to kill myself. And then, like, weeks later, this documentary appears on HBO. People in Oregon could kill themselves, but the only condition is they have to have a medical condition that's gonna make them die in 6 months. So I was like, okay, well, and that video inspired me, kinda. So I watched it. I only paid $1, and it was good. It was actually pretty good. The beginning was awesome. Like, that's what I want. How the guy kills himself with the medicine, and then just like that. Like, it was beautiful. Like, it was amazing how the guy dies. The lady asks him, okay, so the lady prepares a drink for him, medication, puts it, and then water, and then drinks it. So I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. Takes it to him and asks him, what is this medicine used for? To kill myself and make me happy, something like that. I'm not saying the exact words because I don't remember. It's like, it's going to make me happy and make me kill myself or die, something like that. And yeah, at the end, the dude takes the medicine and dies. Like, it was beautiful, like I said, and just like, I want that. And it's an amazing video, and I think everyone should watch it. And like, I tried to find a medical condition that was gonna kill me in 6 months, and that backfired apparently. So I gotta find a smart way. That's all I'm gonna say. Goodbye.
I was watching The Golden Girls a few weeks ago, and in the episode where Sophia thinks that she's having a heart attack, or he's having a heart attack, Rose says something that got me thinking about another film that I'm going to talk about here in a second.
Oh! What, Ma? What?
Pain.
What kind of pain?
The kind that hurts.
Ma, lie down. Just lie down. Lie
Dorothy,
down.
what if I'm having a heart attack?
You're not having a heart attack.
How do you know? You're not a doctor.
Why do you think you're having a heart attack?
I'm 80 years old. I got Pavarotti sitting on my chest. Odds are it's a heart attack. My mother died of old age, and my father fell off a donkey. So we got healthy hearts in our family.
Very, very healthy.
That's good. That's a good thing.
There shouldn't be heart attacks.
or cancer or anything like that. There should just be a certain age where you have to turn your life in, like a library book. You pack a bag, you go, and that's that. I wouldn't know what to pack. There should just be a certain age where you have to turn your life in, like a library book.
The comments that Rose made in this part of the episode made me think of a part in the movie Midsommar. I won't be going over the entire movie and my Christian take on it, but if you're interested in me covering it sometime, let me know.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey Mom, hey Dad.
The movie Midsommar begins with Dani calling her parents' house because she received a concerning email from her bipolar sister. Trying not to worry and needing some comfort, she calls her boyfriend Christian's cell phone. Although she wants to be more vulnerable with him, she tries her best to guard her emotions at this time. Meanwhile, her boyfriend has been wanting to break up with her for a while. His friends have been pressuring him to as well, but he stays with her mostly out of pity and fear.
You have got to get off the fence with this.
What if I regret it later and I can't get her back?
You don't want her back.
I might.
Okay, well then, and we'll remind you again that you've been wanting out of this stupid relationship for like a year now, and then you can find a chick who actually likes sex and doesn't drag you through a million hoops every day. That's not her again. Seriously? She needs a therapist, dude.
She has a therapist.
Oh, so then she should call her therapist and not you. It's literally abuse.
Dani's picking up on her boyfriend being distant, but she only blames herself for it all, feeling terribly guilty for ever going to her boyfriend for emotional support.
And I lean on him constantly for support. Like, what if I have overwhelmed him and he thinks that I just have too much baggage?
Well, if that's the case, then good riddance, right?
No, not if I went too far, if I leaned too much.
You didn't. He should be there when you need him.
Yeah, but what if I need him too often and it becomes a chore?
Then he's not the right guy. Because it shouldn't ever be a chore. Would it be a chore if he leaned on you?
Yeah, but he doesn't ask me for anything. I've never even seen him cry, so I'm the only one that's leaning.
Or the only one opening up. The only one making yourself vulnerable. That's intimacy.
Dani then gets a call from an unknown number, relaying horrible news that her bipolar sister committed suicide after murdering both of her parents. With this reality-shattering news, Dani's first instinct is to call her boyfriend Christian for support once again.
It's literally abuse. She's abusing you.
Hey. Dani.
It's soon revealed that Christian and his friends have been planning to go on a trip to Sweden for quite some time now, to attend a festival that takes place only once every 90 years. Once Dani finds out about the trip, she's invited to come, but only, of course, because no one was expecting that she would actually go on some random trip all the way to Sweden. But sure enough, she actually did. Once they all get to Sweden, they meet up with some of this guy's friends. This is Pile, by the way, but his name's not very important. Anyway, as soon as they meet up in this field, before going to the festival location, they're introduced to hallucinogenic drugs. This I see happening quite a bit in this movie, and even though it's not mentioned in this Hollywood movie for obvious reasons, as a born-again Christian, I can't help but notice all of the spiritual implications in this film. Many of us already know that the Bible tells us to remain sober and vigilant because the devil is like a prowling lion seeking who he may devour, and that when somebody is hallucinating on drugs, they're not merely seeing imaginary creatures and objects, but are seeing actual demons and things in the spiritual realm. We know that these drugs can open up portals, loose demons, and even lead to demonic possession. My deeper understanding of this film is, here's a young lady going through all kinds of trauma, and Satan is using that trauma and her overall situation to get to her. I think we all go through some season in our life where we hit rock bottom and experience a spiritual battle over us between Satan and God. It's not God's will that anyone perish, so God is always doing things to wake us up and bring us to Him, just as the devil wishes that all humans perish, so he's always working to lead our souls into hell. Where we end up after this life is up to us, because God gave us all free will to choose which path to walk on. Both God and the devil know that often the best time to affect someone is when they've hit rock bottom, when their world turns upside down and the person is at their most humble and malleable point in their life. You don't see much of God trying to wake her up in this movie, probably because this movie mirrors the experience the writer had back when they hit rock bottom and chose Satan's wide path over Jesus Christ's narrow path, but you can still see Danny's spiritual battle in the movie. Instead of listening to the spirit of truth, she continuously listens and sides with the lies and illusions of the enemy. Something I found interesting was that, when I read between the lines of this movie, I noticed that there was a consequence for each sin committed, especially when it came to loosing demons through the use of using hallucinogenic drugs. The first time Danny tries psilocybin tea, otherwise known as magic mushroom tea, a demon becomes attached to her, which we see when it manifests itself as her dead sister in the mirror. Danny then appears to be even more tormented by demons who use the pain of her family's death to affect her, pushing her further from logical thinking. After this, the group decides to travel the rest of the way to the location of the festival, where their friend Pile's family lives, which is this creepy yet eerily chipper satanic community that is, of course, full of satanic imagery, which I won't really be getting into. Everyone is so close-knit and joyful that you wouldn't suspect anything strange is going on here. Shortly after Danny and her group arrive, the community holds a marvelous feast, with their tables held in the shape of a giant satanic sigil. It soon becomes clear that these two elders are the guests of honor, as everyone there isn't allowed to sit down until the two elders take their seat, as well as no one is being allowed to eat until the elders begin eating first. One elder looks deeply disturbed, while the other elder looks mostly peaceful. I'll let you see what happens next, and even though this seems far-fetched, I see too many signs of something similar awaiting our future.
Wait, what are we doing now?
What is that book?
Ruby Roder, our scripture.
Can I read that?
You will not be able.
The last film that I'm going to cover, and include the most information and footage, is a film called Mother. I think that this movie has potential predictive programming, as well as symbolism for how worshipping false idols leads to spiritual blindness and being unknowingly used as Satan's puppet. I think it's also symbolism for how if you give Satan 1 inch, he'll take a mile. It could also be seen as symbolism for how Satan and his demonically influenced society treated Jesus Christ while he was walking the earth as fully God and fully man. You'll see in this movie, this woman, who is played by Jennifer Lawrence, who is probably not actually a woman in real life, behaves almost perfectly throughout the movie, kind of like symbolizing Jesus to me. She gets pushed and continues acting like the most perfect little housewife ever. So anyway, the film Mother basically starts out with this loving newlywed couple in their new house, and Jennifer Lawrence, I'm just going to call the main character Jennifer Lawrence and her husband. Jennifer Lawrence is always renovating the house, painting and fixing it up, and her husband is a pretty famous writer. One night they get a knock at the door, and it's this man who claims to be an orthopedic surgeon who just started working at the hospital. He was told by somebody that this residence was actually a bed and breakfast, and Jennifer's husband offers to have the man spend the night without even asking what she thinks about it.
We always talk about how this place is too big for the two of us.
No, I really should be going if I'm going to find out.
Nonsense. No, it's late. Stay the night.
No, I couldn't.
Please, we'd enjoy the company, right?
Yes, of course.
Are you sure?
Positive.
We don't know him.
He's a doctor.
He's a stranger. We're just gonna let him sleep in our house.
You want me to ask him to leave?
What I find so interesting about this film that I do kind of appreciate is how they take an everyday situation that I think we all have gone through and they turn it into a horror scenario that just keeps getting more and more extreme as the story goes along. It starts out so small with little misunderstandings and little things that don't seem like a big deal, and you kind of gaslight yourself into thinking, does this really matter as much as it feels like it matters? Or should I just not be so sensitive? Until you finally have enough validation at some point to realize, oh, yeah, I'm not crazy. This situation is crazy. But this is a situation I think we all have gone through, especially as a female, where you kind of have to follow the lead even if you're in an uncomfortable situation, where you want to say something but you kind of can't because of the situation you're in. Like in a situation here where somebody comes over, you think they just maybe want to come over and say hi, but then they want to spend the night all of a sudden and you weren't planning on it, and your dad or whoever says, oh yeah, we'll come spend the night, you can sleep in my daughter's room, no problem. And you're like, well, you kind of want to tell him, well, Dad, I don't want him to sleep in my room, or I'm not prepared for that, But you can't say anything and you just want to be a polite, nice, decent person, So I try to edit these clips together in a way where I won't get a copyright strike and it'll get the whole video blocked and whatnot. And I'm just going to try to let these clips play out and show how these small little uncomfortable moments get gradually worse. And there's that predictive programming in there that I've discussed in the beginning of the video.
Oh, and this, I love this. How come you have so many copies?
Oh, I wrote it.
Oh, my. That's you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge fan.
You've read it?
I've read it many, many times. Your words have changed my life. And that? What is that?
Careful. This is very, very delicate. It was a gift.
A very special gift.
When I was younger, I lost everything in a fire.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's hard to imagine what that means. Losing everything. Your memories, your work, even your dirty toothbrush. I didn't even know if I could ever create again until I found this in the ashes. Isn't that remarkable? It gave me the strength to start again. And then I met her. You. And she breathed life back into every room. She redid all of it. Every last detail.
By yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you're not just a pretty face.
everything all right?
He drank too much. He'll be fine.
What is it?
Give him some privacy. You know. Smells great.
What happened last night?
I couldn't sleep. I got so excited.
From what?
These stories, I love the man's mind. It is so inspiring, speaking with someone who really appreciates the work.
I love your work.
Of course you do. I know that.
How are you feeling?
Wonderful.
You're all better?
Better?
I'm confused. Who's that?
I'll get it.
No, don't. I'll get it. Hello? Hello? Can I help you?
Hey, you made it. With my better half.
Get rid of that thing, won't you?
Come in.
I didn't realize you were married.
Really?
After the doctor's wife gets into Jennifer's business, it's revealed that Jennifer can't bear children.
You know, you're not going to be so young forever. Have kids.
You'll be creating something together.
Oh, you do want them. Is it him?
Get back to her.
When Jennifer and her husband finally get a chance to talk, he tells her that during his walk with the doctor, he was told that the doctor is dying and that he's a really big fan, and so that's why he came to the house. Truly, it wasn't because of the bed and breakfast excuse. It was because he wanted to see his false idol before he died. And right in the middle of their conversation, they hear a crash upstairs, so they run upstairs and see the doctor and his wife profusely apologizing after accidentally shattering his prized possession that he just showed the doctor earlier. And they say they'll replace it and stuff, but Jennifer's husband is so upset he tells them to leave, and they walk off.
I just need a moment. Please. Please!
What are you doing? What are you doing?
They will never get in here again.
After the husband's prized possession is broken by the doctor and his wife, and they're asked to leave, their sons just happen to stop over, and long story short, a big fight breaks out, and one son ends up killing the other, and so out of pity, the husband allows the doctor and their wife to hold their funeral service, or whatever it's called, at their house.
In here?
Yeah, straight ahead in the kitchen. What are they doing here?
They had nowhere to go, so I told them it would be all right to invite some friends and family. I'll go deal with them.
What are you doing?
Oh, it's no big deal. I worked my way through college doing this.
But why are you painting my house?
Well, it's been so kind to everyone. It's the least we could do.
Stop! Both of you! Stop!
No problem.
There you are, my goddess. Come here. Please make some room for her. Here. You've got to hear these stories.
All these people.
I know, they're just letting off steam.
They're painting our house.
Oh. You're right.
I got it. Nothing.
Yeah, I got your ass up.
You all right? Stop doing that. Don't do that. Stop. Stop doing that. Stop.
It's all right. We'll fix it. It's everything. Please, don't go. Don't go. Come, let's go to bed. You don't need to do that.
Do what? Clean up their mess?
We did a good thing. They needed a place to celebrate life. They need it tonight.
What about what I needed? A boy died here today. I mopped up his blood, and you abandoned me.
No, I didn't abandon you. They just lost the son. They lost, well, 2 sons. I was helping them. This is not about us. It's about them.
No! It's It's not about them. It's about you. It's always about you and your work. You think that's gonna help you, right? Nothing does. I rebuilt this entire house, wall to wall. You haven't written a word.
I know, I'm sorry. I can't write. I can't think. All I'm trying to do is bring life into this house. Open the door to new people, new ideas. You think you can breathe? I'm the one who's suffocating here. Why do you pretend that nothing is wrong? Everything will be all right. Everything will be good. You'll be fine. You know what? Life doesn't always work out the way you want it to.
You're right. Mine certainly didn't. I'm pregnant. We're gonna have a baby. I'm serious.
How could you know?
Because I know. I'm pregnant. Are you happy?
It's the most beautiful gift.
What are you doing?
I'm writing. Last night, those people, their pain, their love behind the pain, and then you, us, and now that life, it's come to me. I know what to say. I have to find the words. That's all.
Amazing. I don't want to interrupt. I'll just get started on the apocalypse.
Hey, I love you. Hi. Yes? Really? Really?
Who is that?
They left it. I'm back.
Who did?
Oh, yeah, I'll be here. Standing by.
Who was that?
My publisher.
She's read it.
Yes, of course. Why?
Who are they?
Wait.
What do they want?
I don't know. They've come here to see me. You had a question.
Yeah.
What is it?
As I was saying, we've all traveled a great distance, and I feel that these words, I feel like they were written for me.
Of course they were. My goddess, come here. Come.
No, stay away from me.
No, please, Lyra. Thank you. They love it. They understand all of it, but it affects everyone in a different way. It is remarkable. Come, they want to meet you.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Come inside.
But they've come from so far.
Look at me. I'm about to have our baby. Why is that not enough for you?
Of course it's enough. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here with you.
I want to be alone with you.
I'm with you. Give me a second.
Excuse me. Do you know where the bathroom is? You need to leave. Where should I go? But my son, he, Oh. Okay. Come with me. Thank you so much. Did you open this? Okay, here we go. It's okay. We'll get you off right off. After you're finished, I really need you to go back outside. What are you doing?
How about a little privacy? Please?
All of you need to go outside.
Yes.
No, you cannot lie down here.
Why, you staying in here?
I live here. This is my house.
The poet says it's everyone's house. Food and drink, my friend. Now,
Hey!
I believe it's, yes.
Writing. It's so beautiful. What is this? What are you doing?
I'm showing them my appreciation.
Oh, hi. Oh, my genius. Oh. About this
Have you met my...
There she is. Oh. The inspiration. I was nervous you'd never write again.
Of course not.
But whatever you did, it was worth it. Hey! Stop! Give that back! Give it back! No! I have to have something of his! No! It's mine! You did it! Now I gotta find something else!
Okay. just things. They can be replaced. Come with.
Here we go. No. Right, no. Make sure you're getting him.
Don't go.
If you please, pin your thoughts on the wall.
Step forward.
His words are yours.
Don't go. Where? The baby? The baby? Hey, come here. Give us some
The inspiration. Where have you been hiding? Finish her. All right, 6 more. I want.
Darling, it's me. It's me. I have to take you somewhere safe.
There.
No. It's too dangerous. Come with me. Quietly. It's a boy.
Shut the door. Seal it.
They brought us gifts.
What are they doing?
They're just waiting.
Make them go. Please.
Okay.
Are they leaving?
No, they just want to see him.
No. Make them go.
I can't.
Yes, you can. They adore you. They would listen to you. Why won't you?
I don't want them to go.
That's the sound of life. The sound of humanity. His cry of love. His love for you.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You baby. You killed him.
Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. They just want to see him. They just want to touch it. And then they... It's horrible. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't. Please don't. I love you.
You never loved me. I gave you everything. You gave it all away.
No, 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 no!
What are you?
I am I. You were home.
Where are you taking me?
It won't hurt much longer.
Baby?
I told them already, the grave wasn't steady. They didn't believe me, now they're acting like petty. I told them one time, I'm here for some time to reflect upon Christ and the fact that he died. But he arose from the grave, from the boldness. I will praise, yeah, Jehovah. To the beat up! Risen and living, hopped out the grave, had to unlock the prison. Not where he stay, had to complete the mission. Holds his hand for the people he's risen. Risen and living, hopped out the grave, had to unlock the prison. Not where he stay, had to complete the mission. Holds his hand for the people he's risen. They don't really understand the facts. For the people in the pews and the people in the back, had to understand the cues so I could read up any map. Had to make it to the stage so I could sing it to the fans. They don't really like me, they actually hate me. They would despise me, the Bible been saying, but they hated him first. And they killed him with a smirk, but he breaking all the curse, so it's alright.
I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they have done. It is finished.
Max, baby.